the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, this episode will be uninterrupted from conductor, so I mean that's a positive, right?
Yeah. I'm sure that the conductor is mad that he will not be featured on Wrestling with this week. But
I mean, I love the conductor, but he talks too goddamn slow for me to in the middle of my takes, and I'll be ready to kick him in the curb. I love him, but
yeah,
out of fear of not getting kicked out of the train.
yeah, you're on a major hot take, and then you completely lose your train of thought. No pun intended.
Literally.
Well, it was a good week for Wrestling With, as we interviewed Xavier Gotti on Tuesday and Mosh Pit on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews. Cannot recommend those enough. Definitely go into the archives and check them out if you haven't already. This upcoming Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, to be determined at this point. We do have interviews in the pipeline coming up, and that is one Joey Carver will be joining us, the family creature from Dark Pound Championship Wrestling. We talk about being the family creature, his relationship with Nathaniel Grayson Verdugo. We talk about some title matches that he's had. The family rivalry with Stewie, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely check that one out. And then the day after will be J5, an American living in Germany. We talk about that. We talk about some of his rivalries, some of his friendships. He has his own podcast as well. Even talk karaoke. So definitely a lot to go on in that interview. Again, definitely go check those out. You could follow us on social media at Wrestling E for information when those interviews will drop, links to those interviews, and so much more. Alright, it was a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the news. Depending on who you ask, well, actually, no. Let's start with the best news. It was a very good day for wrestling. Reja Jackson has been arrested as of Thursday morning. His bail is at $50,000. I don't exactly know the charges as of now, but I can't imagine it's not attempted murder on a one Psycho Stu. So, at the end of the day, there was some justice. No, Kaliko?
I mean, I was just talking to the guy, a friend of mine earlier. It's felony charges, which you say it's great. I don't think it's great, because usually felony charges, when it requires a bail, it's usually 6 figures and up. And $50K for a person of Reja Jackson's caliber, not saying that he's not hurt, but his dad. See, his dad, to make bail is 10%, so $5K. That's easy money for a guy like his father. You see what I'm saying? So, to me, I get the justice angle of it. I just don't agree with the bail. It's great that he got arrested, because that's what I've been trying to tell everybody in the first place. More likely it was going to happen. It was just a matter of who was going to cooperate, what was the information that was going on, how can they cooperate a charge,
Right.
I mean, yeah, the video gives the information. However, they need more than just I mean, a video can help, but personal testimony also helps in the angle of the video, if that makes sense. Because when it comes to these charges, they have to charge it beyond a reasonable doubt, not just off of what you see with your eyes. So,
Well, I mean, there was
you know,
enough
be happy.
witnesses at the show.
There was enough witnesses, but the question is how many witnesses were willing to cooperate with the police? Because keep in mind, like I told you, as a guy who had a person there, the police was not supposed to have been called.
Right.
So that further complicates things. So when you got someone who called the police to something where the good old boys thought that the police didn't need to be handled, that's a whole different animal. Because you got one person who's like willing to cooperate, and you got 20 to 22 other people who are like, I'm not saying shit. But
Right.
they'll go on podcasts and say shit, but they don't cooperate with the people that matters. And that's where it gets complicated. And that's why I knew it was going to get complicated.
Well, I mean, obviously, the people that are, keeping quiet, so to speak, they have a loyalty to Nox Pro, Rikishi, their coach, their mentor. But, how much loyalty could you have for somebody when, clearly laws were broken? And I'm not saying that it was Rikishi's fault. I mean, Rikishi wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. Um, but it's again, how much loyalty could you have to somebody when laws are clearly being broken? I mean, there has to be a line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that point, but clearly there's a rift because the person that called them is now no longer even associate this. Okay, insider information. The person that actually made the call is no longer associating themselves with Nox Pro. So, and Nox Pro has been, and if you look at Nox Pro's Instagram, they have been very quiet since August 23rd, which clearly is either prior to the event or somewhere close to the event.
Right.
So they've been very quiet since then. So that kind of gives you the vibe of what's going on, especially as a wrestling school. So I can't speak to all the guys and gals that are in there, and I can't even speak for the guys and gals that graduated from there. Because yeah, you're right. There is yes, laws were broken, but there is a locker room code. You know what I'm saying? So clearly something happened to where one person they felt broke the code and no one's talking. And it didn't even matter because they lost the thing that they valued the most, which was the WWE ID.
I mean, let's say, for, argument's sake here, the police wasn't called. You don't necessarily need to know what a walk and a shoot is to see that there was something definitely not kosher when it came to that segment with Raja where he took
Jumped in the ring.
yeah,
Correct.
like anybody could see that. And if the cops weren't even if the cops weren't called, I feel like the cops would have gotten involved at some point. Especially when Stu went to the hospital. I can't imagine his face wasn't broken meat at that point. Where some doctor was gonna say, "Well, what the fuck happened to this guy?" You know what I mean?
Right. And I get that, and this is where I'm gonna put my military hat on, and I'm gonna show you where the wrestling business is somewhat like the military community. They feel like there's never a situation that they cannot handle at the lowest level. Meaning that no matter what happens, let's mitigate it at the lowest level possible before it gets to that point where it's public exposure, embarrassment for everyone. Now, unfortunate for Knox, there was a person who felt that that was above reproach, and rightfully so, because who are we to dictate with our own eyes who sees what, right?
Right.
But the culture when it comes to wrestling and when it comes to the locker room, I think is similar to the military, where they feel like if something happens, let's try to handle it at the lowest level possible before it gets to upper chain, because when it gets to upper chain, no one can control it. No one can control the outcome. And that's what I think the guy, I'm not going to say Rikishi in particular, but I'm just going to say the guys in the locker room felt that way, if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
So that's why I get what they were wanting to do, because if they could handle it at that level, they could. But the problem is when a guy is having to go, because it's all good to say that you can handle it, but the problem was he's going to have to go to the hospital, and it's going to be hard to explain a mofo fell down the stairs when it's clearly looks like he's been beaten, punched in the face like 32 times. So that's where, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then not to mention the social media age where Raja was streaming it, people were filming it, so all of that was out of their control. But even with all of that out of their control, they probably felt like they could have controlled the environment. Right or wrong, they still felt like they could control the environment.
Well, when it comes to, these people that are no longer a part of Knox Pro, I that's a conversation that we could have off air. I would probably say, but there was more than just one. A couple left Knox Pro. No.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know for sure the person that I know, well, I used to know personally, is no longer. They changed everything to not even be associated with Knox Pro. So there is a falling out of sorts with it. Now the question is, how deep does it go? Because there are certain wrestlers that I'm trying to look at and see who are they still associating with them. Who are they associating themselves with Knox Pro? Right.
Right.
Like, I mean, their biggest star that is on the indie scene right now for Knox Pro is J-Rod. And J-Rod associates herself being trained by Rikishi and Count Pearl, but not really associating herself with Knox Pro Wrestling, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so I get it and I think that's something that she's always done, so I'm not going to sit up there and tell her, I'm not here to fabricate that she betrayed or whatever the case may be, right? I'm just going off what I see. And it's just that it honestly is the biggest people that hurt are the people that were potential students and current students that were looking at that school as a way on the West Coast to get showed by WWE. Those are the biggest losers.
I would say that, does a WWE ID help, Yeah, of course. But, does it mean that your ticket to WWE is, completely closed at that point? I mean, absolutely not.
Oh no,
And there
but
are
but it's a
other,
easy, but
like
it's
we,
a hell of an easier ticket. It is. I'll put it this way. It's like, and this is my take. It's like college degrees. Every degree is usually the same, regardless of what you did for the curriculum, right? But a degree from Stanford has a hell of a lot more of a status than a degree from, let's say, Louisiana Monroe, or or prime example, a degree from Stanford has a higher tenure than UC Irvine, and because you're on the West Coast. USC has a higher tenure than San Diego State. UCLA has a higher standard than certain colleges. So I'm not saying that it's the end all be all, but to get you in the door, that thing, that moniker, that having that WWE ID is essentially what attracts the school more students. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Which means that brings their revenue, which brings, you see what I'm saying? So it's a domino effect, if you will.
Again, it's not. I completely understand what you're getting at, but it's not the be all end all when it comes to getting signed. So, I mean,
I agree.
there was people from the indies got signed well before ID became a thing, and a lot of the talent that are signed ID didn't actually come from those schools that are mentioned. So it's still you could still get ID without being from an ID school, and there's so many variables to it. And I mean, if you're the hottest thing on the fucking independents, WWE isn't going to be looking at you. Come on.
Well, the only devil's advocate I would play with that is that they also have WWE NIL, which is why they're looking at other college athletes to get them into NXT. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm a guy or a wrestler and I am going to wrestling school and I am going to a wrestling school with a WWE ID and I'm having to go against let's say a volleyball player that happens to have the WWE NIL, which one do you think they're going to take first in their class? And that's where I think it's the apples and oranges, because WWE already, once they went into the NIL game, they're coaching athletes to convert to wrestlers. So therefore, the people who are in the wrestling business need something to put them on par with the people with the NIL. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm playing that devil's advocate. So if I'm a guy who's 18, went straight to wrestling school, went to a WWE ID school with the hopes of trying to be on par with a WWE NIL signee, that would make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I get you're saying it's not the end all be all, because of course, I mean, there's multiple routes, but in this day and age, one route is the easy. Most people are trying to take the easiest route and the most guaranteed route possible.
Right. Well, I mean, just getting back on track. The moral of this story is, Reja Jackson again was, put in.
Serve justice, and I don't know why we sidetracked them.
Yeah. So, it's good. I don't know, what's going to happen at this point. As of this recording, I believe he is still contained. His dad,
No, he's out on bail. A $50,000 bail. He's probably processed and out the same day, because to get bail is 10%. 10% of 50K is $5. He can easily. His dad can Scrounger 5,000.
His dad said that he was not bailing him out, and that he.
But I'm pretty sure he can Scrounger 5,000. Like that.
His dad actually cut ties with him. So, you know, I do hope that, you know, Psycho Stu actually gets, something out of this, because, I can imagine getting.
Oh, he's got a lot. I think the world got an eye on his story, and I think the support and the outpouring of support for him is I mean, it's going to be never ending at this point. So I don't. To me, the biggest thing for him, for that I wish for him, is a speedy recovery as a veteran, because I've been there. I mean, as a veteran, I want to see him do well.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully, Stu can come out of this, for the better. I believe we mentioned last time, wrestling was a safe space for him, and, that safe space kind of got, disrupted by Raja. So hopefully he could view wrestling that way again, and, go back into a good place. I hope it doesn't, put him in a bad place, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right. You're hoping that this doesn't mean the end all be all for him, and that's the ultimate.
Right. It doesn't define him or, even his career at this point. And, the second part about it, the thing I'll say is, I hope that this actually helps Raja. Clearly there's some mental health problems there, and, he's not getting the help he needs right now, and maybe this will help him to actually get the help that he needs to actually be in a good place, mentally, where he could be, a better person than he was when he, attacked Stu. So, hoping the best for everybody.
That is true. Although, I mean, it's going to come to him. And unfortunately, he won the respect, but does that mean the respect, the respect obviously doesn't seem to be worth it when you got the world on you. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Somebody that doesn't have a lot of respect in WWE right now is a one Andrade El Idaho. Excuse me. He was released earlier this week. Quietly moved to the alumni page of WWE. There was no official statement. He just, went quietly into the good night. I mean, depending on who you ask, there's a lot of rumor and innuendo circulating right now when it comes to Andrade. He may have failed the wellness policy twice. There might have been some attitude issues with him. Not showing up for shows and kind of wondering where the hell he was. There has been issues, getting a hold of him just in general, where he would just be MIA. I don't know how true all of this is. Uncle Dave, if you believe what Uncle Dave says, said that WWE had some buyer's remorse when it came to Andrade. Which, if there was anything that I actually believed out of all of this, speculation, it would be that WWE had buyer's remorse when it came to him. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm an Andrade fan, because I'm not. But he never did anything to sway me to become a fan of his. They put so much on him as, like the new Rey Mysterio, or just that new, Mexican star that was going to, break through. And he never was, and he never could be. You know, he didn't have the personality. He didn't have the charisma. God knows he couldn't talk on the mic. Spanish or English, to be completely honest. He was just all around, just personality wise, was just a wet paper bag, if I'm being honest. And you know what? You could probably genuinely tell when somebody isn't necessarily enjoying what they're doing. He was one of those guys as well. So for me, Andrade's run, especially this last WWE run, was all negative on my side of things. And, you know, I don't think that anybody's going to go back and say, oh, well, that was a hell of a run he had. He was there because Charlotte was married to him. And when she wasn't married to him anymore, he was no longer there. But what say you, Jacob?
I mean, to be quite honest, I can say this. Half the world was probably thinking the countdown was on once that divorce got announced.
Oh yeah, I think we said that live on the show.
I got like the moment that divorce, I was like, okay, people are gonna be asking how long is he gonna be there? What's the over under, right? Which to me,
was it like 6 months?
Was it 6 months? I mean, the divorce got announced in what? December, January?
Yeah, they kind of got...
It got announced before Mania.
Right, because Stephanie made the comments, you're 3-0 in marriages.
Oh, 0-3. But anyways, but yeah, the announcement, yeah. So it had to been like April, so May, June, July, August, about 6 months. But, I mean, the announcement was between then. I disagree to say that he was like... the personality and stuff wasn't there because otherwise he wouldn't have had the bangers that he had in NXT. I just think that people really thought everybody knew that him and Zelina as a duo was kind of the thing, right? And Zelina's not going to be a duo with him. Because, I mean, she may have worked with him, but she's married to Aleister, and I know Aleister is not that, from what I've seen, Aleister is not that kind of dude to be letting other dudes work with people he like. So you see what I'm saying? So it's got, so to me, he was kind of handicapped from jump, and I think he's a good worker, a good talker. He wasn't good on the mic. I mean, there's a gang of people in WWE that are not like there yet on the mic that they're giving chances to be there, right? So it's the mic thing to me wasn't going to be the issue. I think the issue is just something must have happened over the weekend that it became the final straw because they don't just like rant. To me, WWE just doesn't randomly let go of motherfuckers unless they really got a reason to, or they just like, you know what I'm saying? So. To me, something must have happened. Like, he no-showed, he's not answering calls, he's not answering texts, and he's kind of like in the effort mode, which makes kind of sense, because think about it, they were kind of pushing him as a singles, and they tried to put him in a tag with Ray Phoenix, and he had the match at SummerSlam, and you know what I mean? After that, it kind of been like kaput. So,
right.
So I can see a person of Andrade, because keep in mind, Andrade gave up the mask to do this. It ain't like he, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he sacrificed nothing. You know, he gave up a tradition to do it.
But I agree with that, but like that was in the last, his first NXT run, where, you know, he was
right.
Wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, you know, happy to be there. We could probably both agree that that was not the Andrade they came back, like 2 years ago?
I mean, the Andrade they were looking for was the Andrade that was NXT champion.
and they didn't get that.
That was putting out bangers with Johnny Gargano. But my thing is this: everyone, what have they done to put him in a position to do so?
But what reason did he give them to do so?
And yeah, it's a two-way street. So it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, you're not the person that we expect you to do, and I can see him going, well, ever since the Charlotte divorce, I can make the argument you really kind of pushed me in the background.
I wouldn't say that at all, because they wouldn't have put him in that. I mean, he was a part of the Money in the Bank match, and
He was the crash and burn guy. Come on.
I remember when we previewed that show. I was like, you have all these banger wrestlers, and then you have Andrade.
Well, a grande Americano is not a banger wrestler.
What are you talking about? Chuck Gable is a fantastic wrestler.
I can make the argument that the Ludwig El Grande is better than the Chad El Grande.
That's a completely separate debate that we'll have another time. But you have, I mean, you were there. You were you watched Money in the Bank. Huh?
I was there. We were there.
Right.
Me and you. We were there.
When Penta came out, that place fucking blew up for Penta. Huh, one of the biggest luchadors, he had that place going.
Got the mask.
And Andrade came out, crickets. Exactly.
Didn't keep the mask.
Zero pop.
Penta kept the mask. Andrade didn't keep the mask.
I won't even say keep the mask. I mean, it may make him more mysterious. But, Andrade came to WWE when his first run. He came to WWE where they desperately needed, a Mexican superstar.
Mexican star.
Yeah,
they were looking for the Alberto Del Rio replacement.
Right. And now, Dominic Mysterio, I mean, he fucking blew up. Like, he's
the motherfucker from San Diego is the most over Mexican wrestler. Goddamn it. Like, ain't this shit? The motherfucker from Chula Vista is the most over. Goddamn.
Pentagon, he's been upper mid card since he's been there. Even, Santos Escobar, Angel and Borto, have they been, major players right now? No, but they had a couple of banger matches for AAA. So, I mean, they're using them, effectively. They're not sitting in catering.
But they're giving them the opportunity to do so, and I will say this. I'm not going to say Penta in itself, when he came in, he lit the world on fire. It is what it is. Because the one thing Penta has that Andrade doesn't is a slogan. He has a slogan in which no matter who you are, any ilk, you can relate. Zero miedo, zero fear. So that is a thing. My 9-year-old son, who's half Mexican, don't know shit a lick of Spanish, but he will yell "Cero miedo" like it's nobody's goddamn business. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, don't say that he doesn't know anything. He at least knows that that Calico is supposed to be spelled with a C.
How dare you, son? Anyway, how dare you? But anyways, but he knows. But the thing is this: he gets. That's what it is. The kids get the slogan. Andrade, unfortunately, never had the personality to have that slogan. At best, he had was like a fist in the air with Zelina Vega, who is now married to Aleister Black. and Aleister Black is protecting Zelina Vega like it's the Heisman Trophy. But that's a whole nother issue. So, as he should. So that's my point. So it's like, I mean, the count, like we said, it all circles back to the countdown was on when the divorce got announced. It pretty much is. And it's unfortunate for him because he can wrestle. It's just that the personality hasn't gotten there. Right. Him being personable. Because I would have thought they would have used, if I were him, I would have used that to gain something. If you're going to sit there and be like, okay, you're Charlotte's divorcee, I would have at least used that to gain something out of it. And he didn't. So, I mean, but then again, that might have been his pride. And, so I can't really speak for him on that regard. It's fun fact. I saw them at Royal Rumble 2019, and they were like all lovey-dovey, and I was like, oh, shit. And now it's like, oh, shit.
Well, and like I said, you said, they didn't put him. What position did they put him to succeed? Like I said, he didn't give them a reason to put him in a position to succeed. Case in point, Dominic Mysterio, he has every right to say, I'm Rey Mysterio's fucking son, and be, somewhat arrogant about that. But, like, what? A year and a half ago, he was the fall guy for a lot of the Judgment Day's matches. He ate the pin 9 times out of 10. And, because he took the opportunities that were given to him, albeit not all the best opportunities, it landed him CM Punk's first match in WWE in 8 years. So, it goes back to making chicken salad out of chicken shit. If you don't have the ego to say, okay, well, this isn't great, but it's an opportunity, you can do something with it. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna put that on Dominic, because Dominic is over and ain't shit changed about him. What has changed about him? I mean, ain't shit changed with Dominic. It's just the people's perception of him changed.
And he got that awesome mustache as well. He didn't have that much.
That ain't the point. Name me one tangible thing he changed about himself that is not physically appearance-wise that got him endeared to fucking the people.
It's not about the changing something about him.
It is.
It's about people can clearly see the work that he's actually doing, and that, he's not just running over people, and winning all his matches. He ate a lot of shit before he got there. He went from... He went to... It could have been very difficult for him to get out of the stigma of, I'm only Rhea Ripley's boy toy, to, what he's doing today. He's a bona fide star today. And
bullshit, because Seth Rollins busted his ass with that kendo stick. Nah. I refuse to believe it. My point is this: people connected to Dom because he has the aura and the personality, and Andrade does not. That's the biggest. Honestly, that's the biggest difference. And plus, Dominic talks his shit as much. He is as Gen Z alpha as you can get, but he gets the Gen Z alpha crowd. That's why I think he's going to be the next guy.
He is the next.
He is the next Gen Z. He is the next Gen Z guy coming up because he understands that culture,
and
especially being a a descendant of a Mexican wrestler. So he's an American citizen who is a second generation American citizen that also is Latino and is Gen Z. He checks certain boxes and he does certain things where it's like, oh shit, you can't help but love this guy.
What are you talking about? Reja Mysterio was born in Mexico.
Bro, they hail him from San Diego, California.
But
you can miss me with that bullshit.
But he's not.
San Diego has a 6-1. San Diego is a 619 day. They ain't doing that for no immigrant.
But to be a second generation immigrant, you have to be. The first person has to be born in that country as well. Reja Mysterio was born in Mexico. He's first generation. Second generation.
Whatever. San Diego.
Third generation.
San Diego claims him like it's nobody's goddamn business. So you miss me with that.
I mean, Goldberg's
as they shouldn't. It would be TJ. It would be. Tijuana. He's like Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana is from TJ.
I mean,
he ain't claiming San Diego.
Goldberg wasn't born in Georgia, but Georgia calls him their own.
Because he went to UGA and played for the Falcons. You can't get more Georgia than that.
Exactly. You don't need to be born somewhere for that place to claim you. Same thing with Reja Mysterio. He moved to San Diego. He got big in WWE. He's San Diego.
You should see the look on my goddamn face.
These things are the same.
Not the same. Anyways.
Well, going to our next bit of news, it doesn't seem like a lot could trip up Dom Mysterio at this point, except that his sister, Aalyah Mysterio, has begun wrestling training. She's training with Natalya and TJ. Tyson Kidd, I should say. And kind of, seeing where that goes. I do wonder I am generally curious how that would go, because there are so many, built-in rivalries for her to kind of come into WWE with, but, and I mean, especially considering, if Dom is, Dom's still going to be there, with Dom being there and all, it is going to be interesting what she'd be able to do, because at one point she was actually more over than Dom, and she wasn't even in the ring.
Oh, mainly because you just slapped the shit out of him at Mania 39.
Oh no, the storyline with her and Buddy Matthews.
That's right. Oh shit, I totally forgot about that.
Which is, if she does get, into pro wrestling, that's a built-in rivalry with Rhea. You took my sloppy seconds. I could have had him, but I let him go. You're welcome.
That is not gonna happen. She'll go straight to Dom before she go straight to Rhea. Rhea will eat her for fucking breakfast. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean down the line, and then there's obviously a rivalry with Liv. If Dom is still with her at that time, it could be Roxanne in a couple of months. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, the opportunities would be endless for her. And clearly there's, some charisma there. She has some charisma because, she got over when Dom was struggling to get over.
Well, Dom wasn't struggling to get over. People just didn't like his ass because they thought he was a Nepo baby. That's what it was. It wasn't the fact... See, that's the thing I tell you, because Dom got over because he proved he wasn't a Nepo baby.
I believe you're saying Nepo baby?
Nepo, same goddamn thing. They thought he was just there because he was privileged until he got his goddamn stripes and earned his way there.
Right. I mean, I don't think that
Nepotism.
Dom wasn't really good getting over tag teaming with his dad. It was just something that really wasn't Dom. Starting that was really wasn't Dom at his best at that time. That was his Cody Rhodes. I'm teaming with Hardcore Holly. Phase. Obviously, after he was done with Hardcore Holly, he turned heel and he teamed with Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase. I could make the same argument that was, Dom's, Hardcore Holly phase.
I mean, Dom was getting tossed out the fucking top rope by Roman Reigns. You can't get no more Nepo than that. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. Like,
If
that's
if Aalyah Mysterio actually does join WWE, what do you think the possibilities are?
I mean, that women's division is mad stacked, so it's she's in the back. She's in the back. I'm just saying because they are high on Roxanne. They are high on Julia. They are high on Bakure. They are like she's gonna have to come. She's gonna bide her fucking time.
She really has to prove herself.
Yeah, kind of like how Dom did.
Yeah. Um, somebody possibly coming back is a one Shayna Baszler. Um, NXT Homecoming was Tuesday, and there was a segment backstage with Shayna Baszler giving a pep talk to Sol Ruka and Zarya, which prompted speculation that Shayna might be coming back to WWE, but maybe not in a role that in a wrestling role like you would expect from her, but actually, as a coach slash producer. I would think that there would maybe be a couple matches here and there, but um, I think that would actually be really great for Shayna. She obviously understands pro wrestling psychology and, what it kind of takes to get over. Fewer people were more over than her, when she was women's champion there. And she has the discipline to teach people. So I could maybe say that you could put her in the same category, possibly, potentially, I should say, potentially in the same category as a Natty Neihart. Um, but what are your thoughts? Do you think that Shayna could actually strive as a coach or a producer for NXT?
De- when I say it depends, it truly depends. Because I mean, they brought her there, but the clear thing is that she's still kind of associated with Ronda, which clearly tells me that they don't really care about what Ronda said. They still brought her in, so clearly they like her enough to keep her around. So that's the biggest hurdle because keep in mind she wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Ronda. Um, so
Yeah, I would agree with that.
so to me that hurdle is over. So that to me, with that hurdle being over it, the sky's the limit for her as a producer. Although I still think she can go. I still think she can go.
How how old is she?
What, like 30s? She's got to be in her 30s.
Hold on, I'll tell you in one moment. I mean, it depends on I would say that you know, age would be, the main factor, and she's 45.
Damn, she's 45? God damn.
She's 45. So, I mean, that tells you right there why they think that, an England career is kind of at its end right now.
Holy shit, she's 45?
Okay, and you know what? I'll say this. She looks great for 45.
Bro, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that is, your fact.
Damn, Shayna.
Your fact of the night.
God damn, girl. 45?
Yeah, 45. Here we go. So, I mean, yeah. She's 45. She's obviously, if she does have matches left in her, she's in the twilight of her career. You know, but
Damn, so that means, wait a minute. So 8 years ago, she was in her. No, because Asuka's roughly around the same age.
she is.
So that's why I don't believe that shit. Asuka's in her 40s.
But Asuka got over immediately.
Same with Shayna.
Shayna,
Asuka's 2 years younger.
but
4 years younger.
Shayna never
40.
really
Wait a
got.
minute, how the fuck she's 40? Wait, whoa. Hold on, let me. Wikipedia's tripping. Shayna Baszler was 45 and she was born in 1980. And Asuka's 43.
But what I'm trying to say is Asuka has
Yeah, she's
always
43. Oh, she turns 44 in about a couple weeks. So, yeah, okay. Roughly about, well, she turns 44 in about, what, 6 days.
But what I'm trying to say is Asuka never had an issue connecting with the fans to get over when it came to WWE, in the Vince McMahon era. So, she won the Royal Rumble, she wrestled, Charlotte. A lot of, when Becky and Charlotte were literally the two titans of, WWE, who won the three-way ladder match? It was Asuka. She was on top of both of them. So, I mean, Asuka's always been over. And, I love Shayna.
Bullshit, because Asuka's got a WrestleMania problem, but that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole other debate. But what I'm trying to say is Shayna struggled to get over. They tried to give her, those, opportunities, but she never really, had that connection with the fans, either as a heel or a face. So you're trying to get somebody over at 45 rather than somebody that's been over for more than a decade at this point in Asuka. I mean, yes, she's in her 40s, but she's been over, well before that. So it's easier for people to accept. Yeah, you get what I mean?
I get that, but I can make the argument that her NXT run was roughly the second craziest run in Asuka's.
It was. And if you heard the pop that she got from the crowd, the people still remember it and they still respect her. She's over with NXT fans. She's not over with WWE fans, and that's
Well, because they brought her in. She got in what, 2020, which is COVID year.
um yeah, roughly.
So there was no crowd there to accept or reject her.
I will agree with you on that. I will definitely agree with that. Well, talking about Shayna Baszler's pop, Bobby Roode, zero pop. um, depending on who you ask, the crowd was muted for some reason during his segment with Charlie Dempsey and Joe Henry, um, which is kind of sad because I mean Bobby deserves people. He deserved the pop, and to not hear it kind of broke my heart.
No shit. I'm like, bro. It was funny because I was going back on my videos and I'm like, man, Bobby Roode was like, oh god, okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that one. I, the crowd. If it's the crowd, shame on them. If it's WWE, shame on them. Because that dude, man, he was a guy, man. It was funny. The only thing I hate about him is the fact that that motherfucker introduced a new belt the day after I spent $500 on the belt. It's just good. But other than that, it's still a guy who deserves his flowers.
Oh, for sure. Um, Another guy that's getting his flowers right now is Joe Henry. That was also in that segment. It is strongly believed that Joe Henry will be joining WWE next year. He'll be signing with WWE in 2026. Um, yeah, so WWE clearly believes in Joe Henry. He's been featured heavily on NXT with a few notable appearances at the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So, I mean, it makes sense that, they're going to actually want some return on their investment.
Well, yes,
Um,
of course. I mean, but
mhm.
him at Mania was the ultimate return, right? Like, I was.
I mean, they didn't get, I feel like the ultimate return is merchandise sales, and they
Oh,
didn't.
no, his merch was at Mania. No, 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 no. That's what I'm telling you. His merch was at Mania. When he popped, when he showed up, it was there.
But does WWE get a return on that and that merchandise, or does that go to TNA?
If it's in the WWE shop, why the fuck wouldn't it go to WWE?
Because he's not a WWE contracted wrestler.
Bull, I call bullshit. They wouldn't put anything in there that they wouldn't get a profit off of.
You're not wrong. Well, you are
They
right.
would not put anything in there that they ain't making a profit off of.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right about that. Um, but those were like one-offs. So I mean, obviously they see something in them clearly. So I would imagine sky's the limit of what they could actually do with him. I'm under the consensus that we would have a Joe Hendry Drew McIntyre tag team because that would just be fucking hilarious. Drew would be down on his luck, mopey, and Joe Hendry is obviously a shining light of positivity. So him trying to get Drew McIntyre excited about life, like take my fucking money. But what say you? What do you think that they might be able to do with Joe Henry?
I mean, he's already there. They put him in a position to where he was with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I could see them putting him in a position where he might get a. I mean, I'll put it this way: if they put him in a match with John Cena towards the end of his career, that tells you how high they are on him. And he's been calling for that for the longest.
Well, I mean, they better do it soon because they're cutting it really close.
I mean, they're hella close. But that ain't the point I'm making. The point is that like he he's clearly been already invested. To me, my my thing is, I don't think he's a TNA guy. He's just a WWE dude waiting to transfer. Like,
He's waiting for his transfer papers.
no. He's already been accepted to WWE University. He's just waiting on the semester to end. That's pretty much what I think of Joe Hendry.
That is a great way to put it. So, I mean, yeah, we're just kind of waiting on that to, actually happen. So, um, I do hope that it does actually work out because, Joe is like just a genuinely good dude. So, I do hope that it works out for him. Um, Speaking of, you know, well, actually, let's talk about this one. Um, Keeping up on NXT Homecoming, this show started with um, Triple H and Shawn Michaels having some light banter, um, DX things, yada yada, which prompted Triple H to tell Shawn Michaels, "I want NXT back." William Regal came out and said, "Well, it will take place in War Games." You know, a lot of people took this as just a joke, just to get everybody on the show, obviously. But other people are prompting this a as some type of return for Shawn Michaels and to get him involved with in WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, where they will do some type of War Games match, um, and for control of NXT. I didn't necessarily see that in that segment, but some people are convinced of it. What say you? Hmm? Kaliko?
I mean, it threw me off because I was like, so which War Games will be the one that goes for it, the men or the women?
I would assume the
Because
men.
because if it's the bakery, Sean's got it hand down. Like Sean got the bakery hands down. Like I don't know, Triple H, bro. You might not want to go with the women's side. He got way more dozens than you think. Um, so that leads me to believe that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of who and which side, men's or women's.
But I would assume that it would be the men. Well,
No.
actually, but you actually prove a good. You actually make a valid point. If this is actually going to be a thing, and sooner rather than later, then the men would be the Vision, um, um, Seth Rollins' group versus Roman Punk and their groups, and the women will be at NXT versus WWE for Control. I mean, that's a possibility for this year. Um, um, but like I said, a lot of people are speculating that this is something that's going to happen at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, no. I think it would be the women. Nah. It would have. If it's the women's, Sean's winning. Unless he puts fatal influence in it, then they're not winning.
Wow! just, just completely shit on JC.
No, it's not the fact of shitting on Jay-Z. It's just the fact that they are more fractured, right?
Mm,
So that's why. It's not a knock on them as a wrestler. It's more of them in the storyline.
true. Well, I mean, again, this it doesn't seem like this is happening, sooner rather than later. This is happening, this is a down the line. They left it open if it is something that they want to revisit.
Bullshit, that's gonna happen. William Regal does not come out and yell war games for no goddamn reason.
Of course he did. It was WWE. It was NXT Homecoming, their first time in Full Sail in like 4 years.
And that's my point. Like, they're gonna have the match.
Well,
they're going to have that match. He's not gonna yell that, and they're not gonna have the match.
Well, we'll see what happens there. Again, I'm on the consensus that it's not going to happen anytime soon. But
shit, that shit's gonna happen in San Diego. You can bet your ass it's gonna happen in San Diego.
Something that's not happening in San Diego is WrestlePalooza. ESPN is it will be the first PLE on ESPN. And wouldn't you know it, there's already bugs when it comes to the new ESPN app. Some people, it is available for some individuals at no cost, whether you have, a subscription like YouTube TV or Hulu Plus or,
Bullshit. I got YouTube TV, I gotta pay it.
And that's what I was going to say. It's not for everybody right now. You still have to pay the dirty bucks to actually view this PLE, which, needless to say, left a lot of bitterness with WWE fans right now. Because it's clearly a tactic that they want, the dirty bucks, rather than, hey, you get this for free, goodwill. No, it's, fuck you. Which is kind of WWE's,
no, it's a TKO thing. It's TKO. Let's just. I'm done with telling people it's a No, it's a TKO thing. Triple H is only doing what TKO is demanding of him. Like, as much as it's not like Triple H is taking over WWE as a mom and pop shop. He took over as a guy who was under another guy who's under another guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting the blame on Triple H.
No, but my point is that the blame is not to be for WWE. The blame is to be with TKO, because WWE in itself, if they know one thing about their audience, it's about the fact that they want the kids to be there so they can make the money off of the kids asking for things, which TKO clearly doesn't get, because they are used to the UFC crowd, which is more adults who may or may not have kids, but they still go to these events anyway.
Right.
That's the whole thing. And that's as a person who's been to both. So that's why I say the things that I say.
But, again, it's not something to blame WWE, Triple H for. It's obviously, TKO is just being, greedy at this point, but and maybe ESPN for that fact as well. But I think that this might be the lowest viewed PLE ever, and they have Brock Lesnar and AJ Lee on the card. Do you think that that's actually a possibility? Or do you think people are actually going to shell out $30 just to see this one event?
Well, from what I'm seeing, you got a mix of bars that are holding events for these things, and they're charging $30 a head, which I'm like, I might as well spend the $30 and chill at the crib.
Exactly. I mean,
or you got
get a free entree with that, or free beer at least?
I don't think so. But my point is that there's three different crowds. I mean, there's a multitude of crowds, but I'm just going to break it down into main sectors. The ones who are going to pay for it no matter what. Mm-hmm. That's one. the other extreme is the guys who are going to VP in it and take Stephanie's advice and VP in that bitch and fucking do whatever they do, right? So those are the two multitude extremes. And then you got the ones who go to a bar to go hang out and do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, honestly, that's it. That's roughly three groups.
I
That's
mean,
those.
you're,
Or the ones who get it and try to see if they could password share it and then go that route.
I mean, there's just, the people that'll straight up bootleg it or pirate it.
Or the people who internet hack it, because there are internet hack channels that will show it regardless. So that's what I'm saying. There's a multitude of ways to get it. Honestly, it's only a United States problem, which tells you that the United States is a consumerist country. We just buy shit for no reason. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. So in this regard, most people are either going to VPN it, like Stephanie said, or buy it. Because I mean, I see a couple people going out to bars and doing that shit for wrestling, but it, it just depends. It just depends on what people's flavors are. It's too many variables, to say the least.
Right. And, it's not a matter of, people finding ways to get it. I'm stating more of like the metrics of it. When you watch it on Netflix, ESPN doesn't get those metrics. When you watch it at a bar, ESPN doesn't get those metrics. It's for the amount of people that are watching it compared to the one stream, it's a whole different thing. And, if you're straight up pirating it, then they get no metrics whatsoever. So, from ESPN's perspective, that's why I'm saying it might be the least viewed PLE, I won't say ever, but, pretty close too. It's definitely not going to be highly, competitive. Because, I'll say this. When it came to, paid previews, there was not a lot of options when it came to, watching WWE paid previews. It was, you just order it through the cable provider. There's nowadays there's a wealth of ways to, find alternatives. The only goodwill that WWE had when it came to their PLEs was, hey, they're $10, and you get all our other content as well. So you get 10 bucks a month. It's not that much. It's a happy meal at this point, or a cup of coffee from Starbucks. You have all this media and content. That's goodwill, and $10 is a much more desired number than $30. A lot of people aren't going to. That's when people start to find the alternatives. Is when the price goes up and you're getting less content, and it's going to show when we see WrestlePalooza.
How many people missing Vince now? But that's. But then again, you're missing the point. Vince knew his audience. TKO does not.
Exactly.
That's too different. And so it just grows down to that they're not knowing the audience that they think they're going to, because you got people who have families and they feel like that they are priced out of this market, and that's perfectly reasonable to feel that they're priced out of this market. And that's why I always say the saving grace for this is the fact that they're having less of these events. So that way you're able to catch it when it comes to your time, because that's the market. The market is less is more, so people are more willing to pay more to get it because it's less coming. It's not like how it was, and it's funny because I was going through my video. That was crazy. And in 2018, in December, I had Monday Night Raw in LA, Tribute for the Troops the next day at 32nd Street, and SmackDown that night, literally in Sports Arena. And that is not happening again. That will never be. And I had to come to the realization that that is not going to be a thing again. House shows are not going to be a thing again unless you are super international, like Mexico, South America, or Europe, and like Saudi Arabia or Perth or whatever the case may be, like overseas, because it wouldn't make sense for them to send them all over there and not do it, right? So the American house show is dead,
Yeah. Well,
and that's where it's, you know, and that's where it's like the saving grace. So the saving grace is you don't. I mean, I hate that the people are priced out because you don't. You know, if you're in Wichita, Kansas, you know, maybe you got to travel to Kansas City to do it. But you know, it honestly, it truly sucks because I kind of miss the house show element of it,
oh yeah.
because those people really do get to see. That's where the people who are like, damn, I'm stuck in fucking Marietta, Georgia, and they're not coming here for a Raw. Like, why would I have to go to Savannah? They would have to go to Savannah, Athens, or Atlanta. And to those families, those are the people that are out of pocket. But maybe those people are comfortable with being out of pocket, and you know what I'm saying. So it's. But I do miss the aspect of the house show. Hell, even an NXT house show.
Right. Continuing on WrestlePalooza, it's, hours away at this point. Uh, John Cena and Brock Lesnar will be opening the show. Um, I would have thought that this would have closed tonight, for obvious reasons, but, I get that, Brock doesn't work on the hour, by the hour, and, he wants to get in, get out, get on with his life. And, to a degree, maybe Cena feels the same way. And, you do have Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship as well. So, you have to have a bookend. So, um, I would have been a little bit reluctant to put that, on first, considering they're on a new app and may considering, there are technical difficulties with those things, not the wisest decision, but I digress. Um, what are your thoughts about John Cena and Brock opening the night?
They're there for a good time, not a long time. And I think it's going to be a no contest. That's just me.
No, no contest.
Yeah, they wouldn't put that first without a definitive winner.
No, I think that there'll be a definitive winner
They're
with
going to Perth, sir. They're going to. You can bet your ass they're going to Perth. Um, they're going to Perth, but that's what it screams to me. But then again, this isn't the first time Brock has opened a show. WrestleMania 35, he opened the show against Seth. So it's not like it's out of his forte.
Oh yeah, no,
So, I mean, but if you're going to be on ESPN, the point of it is to get the eyeballs in first, right? And then keep them hooked for the long haul.
right. Um, speaking of eyeballs, nobody's eyeballs has been on this guy for quite some time, and that is Keith Lee. He kind of resurfaced earlier and said that, he's not done wrestling. He will be in the ring again. I don't know how true that actually is. I just genuinely want him to be, happy and healthy. Last time we saw him, he did not seem healthy whatsoever. I don't know where he necessarily fits in the pro wrestling world in 2025, considering, he hasn't been on TV for like what, maybe 3 years at this point. But I could be wrong about that. Again, I just want him to be healthy, happy, and if he's pushing something, I wouldn't necessarily push it. But that's just me. Maybe he feels differently.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. The biggest key is to make sure that he's healthy and he's at a good space physically, mentally, and psychologically. So that's always first and foremost. But and then if he's able to get to the wrestling, we will all be happy to see him as if he never left.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's a new version of Keith Lee or not, because I can't imagine that he's going to be able to go the way that he did before he left. But maybe a new style will fit him better. Who knows?
I mean, if he works more big, I think he'll be okay.
I agree with that. Right. That'll conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE, NXT, AAA, all the acronyms, Worlds Collide. It took place last Friday in Paradise, Nevada, at the Cox Pavilion, at the Thomas.
It's fucking Vegas. It's Vegas. They call that shit Vegas. That ain't no fucking Paris. It's Vegas.
Hey, I'm just telling you what Wikipedia is telling me. So, yeah. We don't have an attendance, but it did seem like it was a modest crowd, to say the least. I will say this, I actually really enjoyed the show. If you're looking for some, pretty good pro wrestling, then yeah, these AAA shows actually, get the job done. They're fun. Doesn't require that much brain work to enjoy, and you know, all around good time. What say you,
Well,
Trey?
That's Mexican wrestling for you. It's not about storylines to be damned. Just get your ass in here and have a good time.
Oh, there were storylines. There were definitely
I
storylines.
mean, what I'm saying is that when it's combined, they don't want you to think too hard.
Yeah, let's get into it. 8-man tag team match. La Parca, Mascara Sagrada, Aztec Warrior, and Laredo Kid and Octagon Jr. defeated Latino World Order, Cruz del Toro, Jacqueline Wild, and Lance Dorito, and Mini Abismo Negro.
Next, because LWO's been 0-2 at these bitches. Let's just go.
Yeah. They know to
Like,
replace all these ones.
can we just skip next match?
I mean, the only thing I'll say about this match was that it was probably way too long for an opener that had guys that weren't that consequential to the overall arc of the show. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, but they just wanted to have a banger in which it was no consequences whether somebody wins or loses. I mean, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, you could have that, but they could have did this in like with like 6 minutes less and still gotten the exact same result.
True. But, I mean, hey, we complain about them not giving people their money's worth. I mean, gotta give them something, right?
Very true. Well, how many stars you give this one?
I mean, it was a good solid 3. It was a good banger to start out with.
I agree. 3 would be a solid um, rating for this one. Did Uncle Dave actually view this show?
We are looking that up right now, as a matter of fact. And he gave some ratings. So that means I guess I have to play another episode of. Well, let me see. Everything that I'm seeing is the main shit, not that one. They got every other match except that one.
So, Dave is saying that he disliked it so much he didn't even give it a rating. Wow.
I mean, I think he did. Let me get this. Let me do my work. There it is. Gotcha. It's another episode of Guess That Rating.
Well,
Golf clap.
there you go.
Golf clap.
Alright, 8 men means, a lot of meat, which Dave loves. Gonna say 4 stars.
Higher.
4.5.
4.5?
How did I know that? Alright. Singles match to determine the number 1 contender for the AAA Rihanna Championship.
Reina.
Natalia defeated Fabi Apache in 9 minutes 12 seconds. I mean, decent match. I'm not quite I don't quite get Fabi as, an attraction, or maybe it's just I haven't seen a lot of her, and that's kind of why I'm.
Triple A. Yeah, it's a triple A thing.
Yeah, and, I'm sorry, but if Natalia is beating you, then, you got problems in your life, kid. Um, but I'm sure, Flamor will have better luck with Natalia. I mean, it's good for her to say that she beat Natalia. I think she could already say that she beat Natalia because they had that triple threat. Um,
Pretty much.
so I mean, yeah, I mean, it did what it needed to do, I suppose. Natty got the W, and is going on. So, what say you, Kaliko?
I mean, I like this style of Natty. I told you, there's a couple of female wrestlers out down the 04. Natty is one, and then the other one is Emma. Anyways, slash Tennille. Always thought they were great technical wrestlers. I don't get why they just didn't get over. But Natalia showing that it's almost like she's kind of got like a schizophrenic in a sense because she's nice, but in this instance, she's more of the mouth guard. I'm willing to whoop that ass. This is the Natalia I wish I had a saw when the Divas came in, when the Charlottes and the Beckys and the came in. So I I like it, and this is the right tone for her in that match, and her getting that win also, gives her a chance to accomplish something she didn't do, collect another belt under her, another notch of a belt under her belt, to being the best woman of all time, the best of all time, the GOAT, as she say.
Mm-hmm. Low key legend.
She is. No, people can argue with your mama. She is.
How many stars you give this?
I mean, it's Natalia to me, so Natalia 4, easy.
I give it 3. It did. It did what it needed to do, and it got Natty over. I think it didn't necessarily succeed with me being sympathetic towards the other goal. I don't think that's what they were going for anyway. But yeah, I don't think that was the best showcase of that individual. Is all I'll say. But it did what it needed to do, and that was get Natty over, which it did. Alright, a tag team match for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. Uh, Pangano and Psycho Clown versus Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller.
Can we count this as a next? Because to me, it ain't the New Day.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like a third of the New Day, one half of the New Day, getting his ass beat with somebody else.
It's kind of like that one time that Kevin Owens tag team with the New Day. You know that something wasn't right, but it still happened.
Yes.
And if Kevin Owens ever heard that I said that, he'd probably kick my ass, being compared to Grayson Waller at this point. Um, but yeah, it just felt weird, right? Like
Yes.
this.
That's why I said skip it. Just
Yeah. Nonetheless,
not even right.
still 17 minutes. We forgot to do his the review of Natty and Fabi. Um, I will say that he gave that 3 stars,
Higher.
3.5,
Lower.
3.25 quarter.
That quota.
Yeah, always the quarters. Alright, in this match, I say he gave 3 7/5.
Lower. Jesus Christ, lower. I mean, we don't like it.
Well, I figured Psycho Clown was in it, so there was something that he might like about it.
I mean, Psycho Clown and Pagano can go, but goddamn,
Yeah,
I mean, it just the other side was kind of like if it was Xavier Woods, then I would,
yeah.
because they got the chemistry. So it just seemed like Waller and Kingston were always out of sync.
3.25,
Lower,
2.5.
lower,
How many? What?
2.25.
2.25. Damn. I didn't think it was that bad, but okay. All right. Coming up next, the main event, the match that everybody wanted to see. Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana defeated Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez with Rachel Gonzalez and on the outside in 12 minutes.
Sounds like that was the main event you wanted to see.
I mean, what more did you want? A beautiful woman and puppets. Like, take my fucking money.
True.
I mean, Loki, you could have said that this was a six-man tag with Hayeska and Dementio as the door individuals in the match. Honestly, just a lot of ridiculous fun. Hayeska got her comeuppance on Dementio or Dementia or whatever Finn Balor's puppet's name is.
El Dementio, yeah, he found out she wasn't scared. That's what it was.
Yeah, like low key, like Tope Suicida from Hayeska, 5 stars, best I've ever seen. Uh, Mr. Iguana did what he needed to do. Finn Balor still looks strong. Roxanne took the pin, and Lola is her right now because she's going into a title match against JC in a matter of a week or two.
But
So
there's also a little beef with Iguana and Lola because Mr. Iguana is the mixed tag team champions, and Lola's been kind of a third wheel in their tag team, so it's not all peaches and cream.
I did not actually know that. So
So you gotta pay attention, my man.
yeah, for me everything worked. But what's
I
it you
mean,
think?
yeah, I mean, what more? It was entertaining with puppets and shit. You can't get better. To me, it was a solid 4. I have to say. I mean, anytime you get puppets popping out, when the puppets pop out, it's a wrap. You know.
Oh yeah.
We were. I think more people were waiting on the puppets part 2.
Um, Lola Vice was in the match, so that automatically makes it a 4. Lola Vice won the match, 5 stars for me.
Oh Jesus!
Right, Uncle Dave. What does Uncle Dave think about this match?
You don't even want to know.
I'm gonna say that he gave it a 3.
Lower.
How dare he? 2.5.
2.5.
Fuck Uncle Dave. He gives Will Ospreay matches 5 star over 5 stars. I give Will Ospreay matches 0 stars. He gives Lola Vice matches 2.5. I give Lola Vice matches 5. We are not the same, Uncle Dave. We are not the same.
Clearly, you're not the same.
Yes. Next match. We have El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. Jr. defeating Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, and DJ McFunko to retain the Latin American Exchange Championship in 9 minutes and 56 seconds. I've never seen a match so drawn together. like somebody put this like in the WWE 2K randomizer, and this is what kind of puked out. But if I'm being honest, I was kind of all for it. It was a good match.
I mean, because you know why? Because they took the whole thing of, okay, you remember when we had the North American title and there was Ethan Page and the Fatal 4-Way there? Let's just do that and flip the people around. That's essentially what they did.
Just rotate the individuals in the match, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, the two constants are Ethan Page and Dragon Lee because they were both in both matches. That's about it.
Was it Dragon Lee or was it Ray Phoenix?
It was Ethan Page, Dragon Lee,
Javon,
Javon, and Ethan.
And there was one guy that was from AAA. I can't remember his name.
No, because he ended up fighting. You're thinking of the guy. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a guy from AAA. It was not a guy from AAA.
Well, either way, like I said, it didn't make much sense why these individuals were wrestling, but
it was a crash and burn.
It was still fun to. It was a crash and burn. It was fun to.
That's
watch.
what it was. It was a crash and burn match.
I could make the argument that the wrong person won, but AAA guys need to have AAA championships. I get it. So yeah.
The right person won. Meaning the right person. He just won the belt. They just did this whole thing with his dad, and he'd be damned if he's left from Mexico City all the way to Las Vegas just to lose this belt.
He did not drive all the way from Mexico City to Las Vegas, saving on airfare. Just to lose his newly won title.
And he's going through customs. You know how America is right now. So, I mean, shit.
And that brings us to, how many stars you give this one?
I mean, 3.5 because it was a good crash and burn. Great crash and burn. I love how Ethan Page can't fly, but he act like he just flew. Greatest thing ever.
I give it 3.5 as well. I think that's a fair rating for this one. That brings us to the main event, the last match, the AAA Mega Championship. Dominic Mysterio defeated El Hijo del Vikingo in 18 minutes 22 seconds. It had everything that you would expect from a main event. Obviously Dom is uber over right now, literally, him. So, and I mean it shows. I mean, the people are, behind him right now. So, it only makes sense that, they would put the title on him. Vikingo has struggled to get over with WWE crowds as of late, so yeah. It all worked out for me. I had no issues with this, so I thought it was all pretty good. The match, I should say. What say you?
I mean, can we just say this match was over the moment Dom popped up in that popped up and everybody just thought it was the Beatles running around that bitch? To be quite honest, I think it was over. He's over like Rover. I mean, he's out here aura forming on everything. So I mean, I can't even knock it with him. He's just the guy. He is the man in Mexico. He is the Latino. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're looking for a Latino star? That's the Latino star. That is the guy."
He is the guy.
Who would have thunk it would have came from the guy that was getting his ass beat with kendo sticks from Seth Rollins and getting power bombed from the top rope from Roman Reigns during COVID? Who would have thought that? Who would have thunk it?
Not his dad. The way that he put the belt on on his son.
And that's what makes it even better because he's like, bitch, I did something you couldn't even do.
He, he says that he's the greatest Mysterio of all time, and look, he's actually minting himself that way. Like, he won the Mega Championship, which is something that Rey Mysterio hasn't done. So, I mean, he is carving out his own legacy. I mean, he does have, some ways to go to get to the Rey Mysterio level, but I mean, he's getting there, and that's, what matters, no?
That is what matters.
And he's doing it in less time than Rey did as well.
I mean, granted, he got that hell of a head start.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah.
He got one hell of a head start. However, that doesn't mean he took advantage and he is the most over motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
When do you think we're going to see a world title on Dom?
Good question. He's the IC champion now. I'd say a year and a half. Because he's going to either get it through Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. I don't see him getting it straight up winning it.
It's weird. I felt the exact same way. It would be around a year and a half or so. Obviously he's kind of associated with the Intercontinental Championship, and he's cooking right now. It's just when he's done cooking is when you put the belt on him, and
Well, not even that. You put him in the main event scene. I think him going against like a Jay or a Gunther would be the litmus test. So they would put him in prior main event. And granted, I mean, they already are trying to push Finn, like, because it's funny because he's doing it and he just seems so naive. It's kind of like that Dragon Ball Z naive. Like he's Super Saiyan 3 and he doesn't realize he's Super Saiyan 3 because he's acting like he's like a regular ass dude. You know what I'm saying? And Finn sees it, and Finn's like, bitch, I'm going to do everything to distract you from everything else.
right. And the year and a half seems about right, because also keep in mind, Dom is still a heel right now. Like, he's just that cool heel. So Finn needs to turn on him. We need to see that rivalry play out. He needs to turn face, or a tweener at best, and go from there. But yeah, this just kind of, in my opinion, this match kind of cemented him as the future him. Like, Dom is going to be him. You just have to give him some time to cook.
Oh, yeah.
Vikino, I have no idea where he goes from here.
I mean, he'll get it back eventually. It's just a matter.
It's not a matter of him getting it back, because that doesn't really matter at this point. It's a matter of him connecting with the fans, because the people do not like him at all right now. And
I mean, I don't see why not. That dude is good, but
it's not a matter of him being good or bad. It's that when you're not over with the fans, you're not over, and
I mean, that is true.
it's a
You
problem.
ain't over. You ain't over. That is true. I can't knock that.
All right,
Yes, he'll deal with it though. He'll get over it.
how many stars do you give this one?
I mean, Dom won 4, easy, easy 4. The right guy won. The right guy won, and everything happened.
I agree. 4 stars. He won it, which was was the right thing to do. He won it in the right way, and the segment where his father had to put the belt on him was absolute
Yes,
cinema. So
exactly.
it was all it just all worked perfectly. Like all the chips were aligned.
Oh yeah. Oh, you knew he was getting the belt the moment his dad talked shit after the match, the last match. I was like, oh, he's getting it. This is it's a matter of when at that point.
All right, Uncle Dave. Ooh, 3 1/4.
Higher,
3 7/5, I should say.
lower,
3.5.
3.5. There you go.
Meet me in the middle.
Meet me halfway. Black Eyed Peas. Anyway.
All right. So as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs up. I mean, these Worlds Collide has not missed because it's not a lot of expectations on them. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, these shows have been super fun. Because I'm gonna put it this way. The one thing I like about the Worlds Collide, and this is a guy who watches like AAA because I'm down here in Mexico or close to Mexico. It brings the storyline of WWE with the fun factor of the AAA that's missing. Because the one thing that AAA brings out of it, like AAA and CMLL and all these other, they bring it like it's as if it's a soccer match. It's no different than them watching like a soccer event in Mexico. And to me it brings that joy, and I'll never, And to me, anytime you bring that joy into the wrestling scene, it's always a thumbs up to me.
I think you kind of hit it on the nail. There's not really any expectations on these shows. You know, having gone to the first Worlds Collide, this was basically a matinee show for Money in the Bank. So having to get up in the morning to actually watch pro wrestling, not a fun time for me. Not a morning person whatsoever. I thought I was going to, golf clap my way through, Worlds Collide to, get the Money in the Bank, save my energy. And I mean, Worlds Collide was just like awesome, and like they made me cheer. And if they can make me cheer, then they're doing their job because they're getting me invested. They're getting me to watch the show. You know, be invested in the show. And I think that since then, I have been invested. I want to see the next show. I like the atmosphere because it's like WWE but not WWE, if that makes sense. It's like
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's WWE stories, like I said, WWE style, but the crowd is a Mexican wrestling event,
right,
and that to me is the best of it all.
like let's say like WWE's Coca-Cola. Like one of the affiliate brands is like Sprite. It's in the same family, it's in the same vein, but it's a different flavor.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. uh, so yeah, I 100% thumbs up. These shows haven't missed yet. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of Worlds Collide. And we are wrestling with for NXT No Mercy. It takes place next Saturday. Because God knows WWE doesn't do enough PLEs in between. There are regular PLEs, and then they have, PLEs for their PLEs, and then special, just TV events and all that. But yeah, we're here for it because we're a fucking wrestling podcast, so we have to watch it. And we have to, preview it, review it, and here we are. But I think we would have seen this anyway, because, NXT is kind of on fire right now. No?
Yeah, they are, and they just had the homecoming, so they are they're firing on cylinders.
Yeah. Alright, takes place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the NFT War Memorial. I'm assuming there's over an arena somewhere in there. 4 matches have been announced. Well, technically 5. Yeah, pretty par for WWE. I'm assuming that at least one more match will be announced between now and then. There's one more week, so yeah, let's see what happens there. But let's review what is actually going to be on this show. Alright, JC Jane with Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix will be taking on Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship. Who wins, Kaliko?
Casey Jane.
Really?
Yes.
Are you just saying that because you know I'm going with Lola?
No, because the story with them breaking up ain't baked yet. They still got a little bit more time.
I don't know. Literally, JC had the highest of highs, and she lost the TNA championship, and it's just been like the lowest of lows. Like, I feel her.
She did not kick it.
Literally Homecoming. Yes, they were mega stars that they were up against, but I don't think that a Fatal Attraction has won a match since JC lost the the TNA championship. So I think that this is the downward spiral where it kind of all ends for Fatal Attraction. She loses this belt, the breakup happens, and Lola is your new, women's champion.
I never doubt a down champion. I'm gonna go JC. I know you're going Lola, so
Yeah. They did that whole video. They've been doing that whole video package with Lola. Getting to know Lola Vice, that mini, documentary on her. They don't necessarily just do that for people that they're not trying to get over. You know what I mean?
they did that for Jordan Grace and still got her ass beat. So that's neither here nor there.
It wasn't the Jordan Grace thing wasn't a 3-part documentary on Jordan Grace. It was like
I get it.
a one time, she used to be fat, now she's thin, and she's promoting body positivity.
I get it. I get it. You're all in. I'm not here to change your mind, my guy.
No, I'm just, and it's not just because of Lola, but all of the cards are indicating that JC's kingdom is crumbling right now. So this kind of has to be the final straw. Alright, then we have the North American Championship match. Ethan Page versus Tavion Heights. Man, do I feel bad for Tavion. You
Yeah, because he ain't winning this match. So we can just say Ethan Page is winning this bitch. So you might as well just go. Let's chalk this up.
you know, it doesn't really become a matter of winning the match because, obviously Ethan Page is there and Tavion is not. The goal of it is to get Tavion over. And it hasn't been working. Like, this was like the worst, like, this was the worst possible person they could have put him against. You know what I mean?
I mean, but it ain't happening, pal. It's just he's not connecting. No, ever since he left the Quarter Crew, it's a wrap.
I don't think that it's because he's not connecting, but they're not giving him the adversity that he needs to get over. Like the other guy, that was a part of the Quarter Catch crew, the Randy Orton double. Um, why am I forgetting his name? Um,
Who? Oh, Stephanie Cooper Cure's man,
yeah,
who's Miles Bourne.
Miles Bourne. Thank you. He, you know, I mean, first and foremost, his adversity is that he's deaf. So I mean, right then and there. And then, who is he wrestling? Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr., where, love him or hate him, he is a very antagonizing figure. And, like, despite being a wrestler, being in a blindfold match with somebody that's deaf and you have to cheat to actually beat them, like, that is, like, 100% like scumbag heel territory. And, I'm all for it. It makes you dislike Lexus, but it also makes you cheer, Miles. That, you know, you want him to see him get some upcomfence because adversity. Tavion's not getting that with Ethan Page. The adversity was supposed to be he's Canadian, he put a Canadian strap on the belt. I'm American, I'm going to take that belt off of him. But people are getting behind Ethan Page with his Canadian belt and his, Canadian contingent. People are starting to sing his song. It does him a disservice, Tavion, because people are not getting behind it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, that is true. It's just when they leave these factions, you got to give them something for the people to gravitate to, and it just hasn't happened for Bourne or for Tavion.
But we'll see what happens with Tavion after this. Hopefully he'll get into a rivalry where he actually benefits him, because this does him no favors.
No favors.
Now we have the Women's Speed Championship match. Sol Ruka versus either Candice LeRae or Lainey Reed. The last match of the tournament will be on NXT next week. I feel like this is going to be Candice LeRae versus Sol Ruka, right?
I think it would be Lainey Reed versus Ruka.
I was going to say that the better match would probably be LeRae, but considering that the match is only going to be 5 minutes at best, you might not be wrong about that.
Lainey Reed gets her time in the sun, and then Sol Ruka snatches it right out of her hands. Good job.
And the only losers are the fans, because Sol Ruka will only be on our TV screens for 5 minutes.
Exactly. See?
NXT Championship match. It will be Ricky Saints as the challenger. Who is the champion has yet to be seen. Oba Femi will be taking on Trick Williams next week on NXT TV to determine a winner-take-all match for the NXT Championship and TNA Championship. To me, that kind of screams somebody's injured and we need to get this belt off of them.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
I think it screams no contest, Obafemi, Ricky Saints.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why they would. Why would they promote a winner take all match if it was just going to end in disqualification?
Because keep in mind, Trick has a destiny with Mike Santana.
Right. But that's what I was saying.
So,
And why? And the second thing is, why would they do this winner takes all a week before a pay preview on a random episode of NXT? That's
to promote the fact that there's a possibility because they've been holding this off for the longest. This is a match that should have happened a long time ago, but they're now just getting to the point of it.
Which makes me believe that, and I'm just going to say it, I think Oba's injured. I think Oba's injured. They need to get he's okay enough to do one match to kind of get the belt off him. Trick will obviously be the champion, a double champion. You know, he's firing on all cylinders. So it would make sense for him to be, you know, the guy to take the belt off of him. And then, you know, he has, you know, the run that he needs to have with the belts. And, you know, when Oba comes back, he could, you know, do what he needs with Trick. But I do think that Oba's injured. That's what I'm going with.
We'll see, but I still think no contest, Oba, because it wouldn't make sense for Trick to get the belt just to lose it a week later. And it would make sense for Oba to win. It would make sense for the no contest and Oba loses. Because Ricky Saints beating Trick does nothing for him. Ricky Saints beating Oba does more for him.
I never said that Ricky was going to beat Oba or Trick Williams.
But that's what I'm saying.
So you think Ricky Saints is going to beat Oba Femi?
Yeah. If he's hurt, it would make sense for Saints to beat him than Trick.
Well, then why would they put that roadblock in front of Oba if they were just going to put the title on Saints a week later? Less than a week later. Because
they always been... Because this is a showdown that's been, like I said, it's been going... That showdown should have happened months ago. They've been staring at each other for months. Trick never really got over the fact that he lost to Oba, or he quote-unquote never really got the one-on-one with Oba, so this is the one chance he gets the one-on-one with Oba. Because it wouldn't make sense for Trick to get the belt, lose to Ricky, and then lose to Mike.
No, it wouldn't, for sure.
So that's why I say it seems more no contest to me.
So you're going Oba retains the title, fights Ricky Saints at No Mercy. Ricky Saints beats Oba Femi at No Mercy.
Yes.
I'm going Trick Williams beats Oba Femi on this random night, on this random Tuesday night. Um, he beats Ricky Saints at No Mercy, and he loses to Mike Santana next month at Bound for Glory.
I mean, that hurts Trick big time. And you don't want, I mean, I get it, but
How does that hurt Trick?
losing 2 title matches in a month?
Well, I mean, I think that it protects Trick because, once, I mean, he's not going to be the forever TNA champion. I mean, the whole basis of his title run is that he's going to lose it to Mike to make Mike a made man in TNA. But the one problem with that is, what does Trick Williams do after he loses the TNA championship? Well, he has the NXT championship literally right there. So it doesn't hurt him whatsoever because he has the title of the company he's actually a part of.
Better than me. All right, we'll see. We'll see who's right and who's wrong.
It's going to be an interesting Tuesday in Texas that will take place in Florida.
That it will be.
Shit, why haven't they done this Tuesday in Texas on NXT? It feels like a missed opportunity.
Well, they're taking advantage now.
But it's in Florida.
I mean, hey, not everybody can get the logistics travel.
Alright, that will conclude our coverage of No Mercy in this episode as a whole. Next week will be all in on All Out and WrestlePalooza. We'll have full reviews of those shows and obviously whatever happens between now and then as well. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday. Join us this upcoming week as we interview Joey Carver and J5. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShay993. Where can we find Kaliko?
Oh, wow, man. I am Kaliko, and properly spelled Kaliko Chronicles on YouTube. This week, I had to go back into my old time machine, and I found some money in the bank matches. But I also looked at all my videos, and I actually found the goodie. Tyler Bate versus Adam Cole that I'm trying to get put on there. So it's going to be interesting to see that one.
Was that a live event?
That was an NXT live event, yeah.
Because I was trying to go in my Rolodex in my brain. Did Tyler Bate ever wrestle Adam Cole?
Oh yeah, he did, and it was at a NXT live event 2019, right before the Royal Rumble, actually. Man, I'm good. I'm fucking good. You know what else was on that card? Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair.
Wow. I'm assuming that was when Shayna was champion.
Oh, Shayna was mowing everybody. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Shayna was mowing. Shayna was mowing everybody. Yes,
Bianca
of course.
wasn't her yet. It's just crazy to believe.
Yeah, Bianca was not that girl yet. Yeah, you're right.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James Shay, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Look that trick. whoop that trick. Yeah,
like
whoop that trick.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that, I do like that. I mean, I just, it gets me in the Memphis mood every time I hear that shit. That's just stuff.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.